Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. Every so often I like to mix in with the luxury and car type videos content that is to do with self-development, helping you in your work, motivation, those types of topics. I should say I am by no means an expert in any of this. All of these videos that I share are learnings and experiences that I've personally had. It's not to say that they're going to be correct in every single instance, it's just things I want to share that might hopefully help some of you. So what I'm going to be talking about is that point in any given job where you've made that decision that you're ready to leave. What is the best way of handing in your notice and then working your notice period? When it comes to terminating your employment, you've generally got two camps of people. The first camp is people that really like the place where they work and it is with a heavy heart that they are leaving. Maybe you're relocating, or maybe you love the place but you don't feel like it's testing you. Then you've got the other camp of people, and these are generally disgruntled employees. You might not get on with your line manager, or it could just be that the culture of the place is bad, or it could be something as simple as you want to go to that next level but the company isn't opening that opportunity up to you. When you hand in your notice, it is important, particularly if you're in that second camp where you feel quite frustrated, it is important to not get emotionally involved. I don't think anyone really likes handing in their notice, even if you are well and truly ready to leave. If you get angry in that meeting, if maybe you rant and you feel the need to let out steam, in the middle of a rage or frustration, most of us will look back and will regret the things that we said. So by all means, give constructive feedback. The worst thing you can do when handing in your notice is go off on a tangent about irritating colleagues or the way you've been treated. Another reason why this is important is you would be so surprised. When you work in a given sector, you can bump into people in different places of employment. The whole way through your career, it is important to remain professional and not someone that if you get interviewed somewhere else several years later, that person that you said something to years ago at that other place, there could easily be a conversation said internally that you don't even know about and you probably will never find out about, and it might mean that you don't get that interview. Plus as well, with things like LinkedIn, people do talk, so it's important to retain your etiquette. Sometimes as well, it's better to say nothing. Particularly if you work somewhere where you don't feel like your constructive criticism is really going to get taken anywhere. Sometimes it's best just to bite your tongue, be very polite, hand in your notice, end it at that, work your notice period, and at least you can walk away and know that you were professional, regardless of how people treat you, and I'm going to come on to that in a second. The final point when you hand in your notice, if you work somewhere where you actually don't mind it, but possibly you're looking to leave because you are moving away, but still vaguely commutable, but just a bit of a distance away, or maybe you just don't feel tested in that place. Before you go into that meeting, have a think about what might make you stay. For example, would things like a promotion, moving to a different department, if you're moving away and that's going to add time to your travel, would the company being lenient in terms of your time and maybe having a few days working from home, would those elements make you stay? Ideally, these are conversations that you should have with your line manager before you get to the point of handing in your notice. But if that hasn't worked, maybe if you hand your notice in to someone higher up the chain in the company, sometimes doing that can really help, because finding and recruiting new people is time consuming and expensive, and if you have generally been a really good employee, a lot of companies, for the sake of making some changes to work to you, they will do that. So have a think about whether that is an option for you. After you've handed in your notice, it is not uncommon for people to change their attitudes towards you. You might also get people that are upset that you're going, and that can also play a big part in how they behave to you. Although it might be upsetting, although it might be frustrating, I always think in your notice period, it is important to do the best job you've ever done in your life. You want to be the kind of person that on your last day when you leave, people remember you fondly as someone who was a nice person to work around and who did a good job. And again, it links back to that point I was saying earlier, in that people talk, so it's important that you always leave a place on as good terms as possible. On your last few days before you exit a company, you might want to have a conversation with your line manager just to say, thank you so much for working with you, you've been great, even if they've not been so much. Again, just be nice. Very often when you leave a place and you look back and the emotion's gone, you're like, yeah, do you know what, I was frustrated, but they were a good person overall. Say to them, is it okay if moving forward I put your name forward for my reference? Looking that person in the face and asking if they can do that, particularly if your relationship with them has been difficult, doing that can often be quite helpful, because it's not like months after you've left they get a reference request for you and it's easier for them to say something. Incidentally, in the UK, generally speaking, references should just confirm that you worked at a company between such and such dates, and they normally talk about how many days of sick you might have had. It's not uncommon for people to talk, and maybe it wouldn't be put in a written reference, but I have had people maybe phone me before about others saying, I've worked with this person, I've seen you're interviewing them. It shouldn't be done, but it does happen. I actually had one of you the other day write to me about this, and you had worked at a place where you didn't see eye to eye with your line manager. They had written a negative review for you and it was stopping you finding new work, and you wanted to know what to do. If you're in a similar situation, you're leaving a place of work and you're thinking, God, when I get asked for a reference, who am I going to go to? You need to differentiate someone who is maybe just doesn't like you from someone who is difficult because maybe you need to improve on your job in certain ways. If perhaps you've worked with a line manager where on a personal level you've not seen eye to eye, one of the things you can do is, if there is possibly someone else at the same level or more senior in the organisation that you have had the pleasure of working with, if you've got on with them a little bit better, it is not disallowed to go to someone like that for a reference instead. I cannot stress enough, the most important thing to do, regardless of how you feel, is remain calm. Don't get frustrated or upset, just keep to the facts. If you're really serious about your career, I always look at it as treating yourself as a brand. Always react in a manner that is always professional and that no one has anything on you for. I'm just gonna film for you a really quick outfit of the day. This shirt that you saw me in earlier, this is like one of those, you can tie a bow in this around your neck, or you can just have it loose. I think on the website they just had this loose, so that's how I leave it. But I love the design of it. It's really comfortable to wear. It is really nice for work as well as weekend. I also put a jumper over this and it looks really nice when you've got that bit hanging out the bottom. The trousers, these are from Club Monaco. These have actually gone on sale recently and you will recognise them when you see them because they've got zip pockets either side there and they're in a grey colour. These are new. And do I love them? Do you remember I told you that 2018 I really wanted to get décolleté from Christian Louboutin? Well, that's what they are. Very comfortable. I'm wearing the same watch that I always do at the moment. It's this one from Jord. The face on it is pearlescent white. You can also get it, I think you can get purple. You can get a few colours of these. I personally like it because I think it works with this outfit. Whenever I do these videos, the amount of you that share your opinions and share your thoughts and things that have worked for you and things that haven't. Some of you have shared things that you've done and then you've gone on to regret, and it's so helpful for everyone reading, so please share below. Thank you all again so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.